Welcome to an episode of The Root Culturist. In this episode, we'll be talking about propagating Nepenthes. We'll be using this umbrella as an example, and this is the green spackle with red lips. We start off first by preparing the media, which we'll be placing the cuttings in, and this will be pre-soaked sphagnum moss. And you could use a variety of media, such as pure perlite or peat moss and perlite mix. We find that sphagnum to be one of the better ones to root them in. So always remember the tag because it takes at least 3 to 6 months or even longer for the cuttings to root. So you don't want to lose track of the cuttings when you do multiple cuttings next time. Next, you look for the portion to cut, and that usually depends on the plant and how stable and mature the plant is. In this case, we're taking a side cutting. You could take the cutting from the main plant, but then it depends on what's your purpose of doing the cutting in the first place. So if you want the plant to flower, you don't do the cutting on the main plant itself, and you can take a side cutting. But if you just want to shorten the plant, you can take the cutting from the main vine itself and it will be fine. As you can see here, we are taking the vine that is green rather than an old vine, which is usually brown in color, and those hardly root at all. So the process is pretty simple. First, you cut all the leaves into half, and this is to prevent any moisture loss. And then you would take cuttings at every 3 to 4 node. To describe what a node is, these are the sections in between the leaves. There are one node, the second node, third node, and the fourth node. And so we are able to take 2 cuttings from this plant. This is another example we're doing. We generally aim for 3 to 4 node on the plant whenever we do a cutting, and that's usually the good range. For this plant, we ended up with 3 cuttings. So this step is the critical step where we are going to zoom in, and this would be the step where you induce the root to form, and you would do 3 slits. But first you remove the bottom leaf. So whenever the leaf is near a cutting point, you just remove it off. So that's one slit, that's another slit, and then finally the third slit. So next you just peel the layer open, and what you can see is the cambium layer. The purpose of exposing the cambium layer is to encourage root growth. And actually the roots form above the slit. So for example, when you do the 3 slits and you expose the cambium layer, the roots actually doesn't form below that and just forms above that slit. The cambium layer is a layer just below the bark, and it is usually white in color. Over here we are splitting the slits like a fan to expose the cambium layer, and here we repeat again. So we do 1 slit, the second slit, and the third slit. Then we split the layer open to expose the cambium. So just be careful with the scissors when you are doing this. So we expose all the layers, all the 3 layers. Once done, we'll be placing the plant into the sphagnum. If you like our video, subscribe to our YouTube channel at The Root Culturist. Give a like to this video and follow us on Instagram at The Root Culturist. Let us know in the comment section below whether you propagate your Nepenthes.